17 was gifted the PGS7 win. At least that's what Twitch chat was saying. But I actually have statistical facts that show you that it's not really all that true. Statistically speaking, they were the unluckiest team in the tournament. To explain all of that to you guys, we're going to have to look at a graphic that the Ascend analyst Dio made. Basically what he did is for each team, every time a circle shifted, he would take that team's position by taking the middle between all alive players, calculate their distance to the current circle center, and then take the distance to the new circle center when the circle pops, minus the distance to the old center. If you were really central and then suddenly you're really far away, that's more unlucky. And the other way around as well. If you were really far away from circle center and you get a good shift straight on you, then you're extremely lucky. He didn't only calculate the average luck factor, which is basically what he calculates by calculating that distance. He also added the data on top on how far away from the circle center are they usually when the circle pops. And you can clearly see this when you look at this graphic and you look at Bestia. They send center every single circle. They did nothing else but sending center this tournament. They have a tiny dot. And then teams that play more edge and are happier to play edge will have a bigger dot. T5 and BB, for example, they played a lot of edge. They played very slow. They have a big dot. So you can tell the playstyles a little bit. 17 also has a reasonably small dot. New Happy, a lot of center playing teams. TKL, all the China teams kind of like to play center. Pero, I would say, is an outlier. Why? Because Pero died early so much that I wouldn't really put much emphasis on their stats. Now that we understand where the data comes from, we can look at the data for the PGS finals. That is 18 games, and it is every circle that a team is alive, except for the phase 8s and the phase 9s. Phase 9 is just the start, it's not a circle shift, and phase 8 can't hard shift. And what you can clearly instantly see, right, is that T5 and BB, on average, were much closer to the new circle on circle pop when you calculate how far away they were from the old circle. The opposite is true for some teams at the top. Twist, Pero, 17, looking rather unlucky here. It also tells you quite a bit to see which teams like to play center and which teams like to play edge. I think Day Trade Forest, right? They were playing very edge, they were playing very slow, lots of gliders, lots of edge rotations, and you can see that clearly reflected here as well. But on average, circles were the kindest to T5 and BB, and circles were the hardest for 17. I know this is a bit of a nerdy one, but I thought it'd be fun to talk about because I have heard a lot of people say that 17 was gifted this tournament, and I think the absolute opposite is true. I think they had rough circles. While they play very centralized, sometimes a little bit boring PUBG, they play it really well. They win a ton of their team fights, and the circles were not the reason that they won PGS7.